I had my transplant on April 22nd, 2007. And Kitty's now 7 years old and doing well. But in order to get to that point, I had to qualify for the kidney transplant list. And that was an in-depth physical examination. I had to have blood work, my heart was tested, I had to have ultrasounds, and even a dental exam to qualify. And once I qualified, since I didn't have a donor, I had to wait for that call that one of the doctors was talking about. And I received that call finally on the 21st of April. Coordinator called to tell me that they might have a kidney for me, and she gave me all the particulars like this gentleman said. They tell you the age of the donor, all that type thing. Did he have high blood pressure, all that? And are you interested? Well, yeah, I'm interested. So I told her yes. And then the next day, they called and said, come to the hospital. Can you come to the hospital? I was so glad to get there because I thought my husband was going to kill me on the way. And once you arrive there, they take you right up to the surgical unit. You meet the team of doctors. They take your vitals, and you're prepped for surgery. And when I woke up, I was in recovery. And in recovery, you know, they're checking you and everything, getting you ready to go to your room. And when I went to my room, every morning like clockwork, that team of doctors was in there every morning checking your stitches, making sure everything was okay, and seeing to your general well-being, if they needed to make any changes to you or your medication, that type thing. And then finally they took the catheter out. And then I had to get up to go to the bathroom, which was great, because I hadn't been in almost 2 years. But your bladder is weak. But since there's no limit on the amount of liquids you can drink, the more you drink, the more the kidney works, the bladder gets stronger. And then you're introduced to your medications. I know some of you have concerns about your medications, but don't we all take something anyway? So there's nothing to be concerned about. Think of it as your new BFF. That's how I thought of mine. And before you leave, you know those medications backwards and forwards. I was given a chart with the time that I had to take them, the dose I had to take, and it's ever changing. And by the time I went home, I spent about 10 days in the hospital, and I don't think that's the norm, but I was running a low-grade temperature at night, which I didn't know because I felt great. I never even had pain medication. Once they took out the catheter, I was walking around the hospital and I felt fine, but they wanted to know the source of that low-grade temperature, which I don't think they ever found. I think they realized it was just me. And by the time I went home, like I said, it was 10 days later. Before you go home, you're armed with your prescriptions, or they call them in. You have an appointment for the kidney clinic that following week. And once you go to the clinic, they it's like post-op. They're checking your wound that you have and all, just to make sure everything's okay. And then you're introduced to that next BFF, which is the lab work. That's ongoing. I started out going every week, then I graduated to every other week, then every month, and now I go every other month, and I see my nephrologist every 6 months. So I figure that's pretty good. And one thing I noticed when I was home, the swelling in my hands and feet started going down. I had energy. I seemed happier. once I got the okay, one thing I enjoyed was being able to take a bath again, because I did peritoneal dialysis, and you have a catheter coming out your stomach, so you can't exactly sit in the tub. So one of my little joys was just to sit in the bathtub. And then I joined the gym. After a while, I joined aerobic classes. I started dancing again. And it was so nice to be able to go out and not have to worry about getting home to hook up to Matilda. Matilda was my dialysis machine. It felt great not to have that burden anymore. So don't be afraid of a kidney transplant. It's a different quality of life. It felt so good that after 35 years of working for Social Security, I put my papers in and retired so I could resume traveling. And that's one of our joys, my husband and I. We enjoy traveling. So if you get a chance, you get up on that list, do it. It took me 2 years to get my kidney, but it's been a blessing.